All praises, all praises, all praises to the heavenly power of creation, infinity, eternity, the universe, the stars, earth, the oceans, the mountains, the seas, all creeping things, humanity, and all there is. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. Back before you again, most humbly, in privilege and pleasure, to speak, to hear, to do the words of the Lord. Once again, this is the Sabbath Wisdom Series, week 5. We are expanding our paths of wisdom. We now have both feet on the path. We now can take 2 full steps within this 5th week, and we will continue to grow it until walking on this path is a normal part of our carnal existence on earth. All praises. And I am sending out my appreciations to those that hear, those that share, those that like and make commentary. It is very much valued. It humbles me. It keeps me right. It keeps me working in the spirit of the Lord so that I can continue to do my part in the vineyard of the Lord, to recover Jacob, to bring back the 12 tribes of the house of Israel scattered abroad in this globe of the earth that we walk to and fro, and to bring them back to their true identities and the holy covenant of the power of creation. All praises, all praises. And family, also to my brothers and sisters out in the world who are still operating under the worldly bywords of the melanated and the Moors, the original man and the children of God, the sovereigns and the sojourners, the copper-colored, the colored, and the people of color, the indigenous and aboriginals, natives, Negroes and niggas, African Americans and blacks, descendants of slaves, and those conquered and colonized. We are here, family. We are exchanging hugs. We are exchanging love and peace and harmony. And as we find our places to sit down and be still, pull back that earthly skull to expose your cranial universe, pull back that carnal rib cage to expose the spirit to the power and the heat of the word of the Lord. And so, if you've been here before, you know we shall begin with the Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit standard of how we are to understand the holy word, the holy history, the holy Bible. And we began in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. And fortified by our second standard in reference to the Holy Messiah, the word of the power of creation, made flesh, whom the world refers to as Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. All right. We are ready. I always send those 2 verses out to my brothers and sisters who are in the practices of the various confusing denominations of Christianity. You get past those 2 verses, we can expand our co-understandings of the word in truth. All right. So this week's week 5, we are back in the Song of Solomon, the Song of Israel to the Holy Power Creator. And this book compels us to seek that universal harmony within our cranial recesses and within the depths of our soul to bring forth that platform. And brother Prophet King Solomon will sing and lay verses to that harmony. And we are in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 as well. And Ecclesiastes is our spiritual set of eyeglasses on how we are to view and review and contemplate and ponder the carnal existence. All right. So, Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. I am come into my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, O friends. Drink. Yeah. Drink abundantly, O beloved. I sleep, but my heart waketh. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, and my locks with the drops of the night. I have put off my coat. How shall I put it on? I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? My beloved put in his hand by the hole of the door, and my bowels were moved for him. I rose up to open to my beloved, and my hands dropped with myrrh, and my fingers with sweet smelling myrrh upon the handles of the lock. I opened to my beloved, but my beloved had withdrawn himself and was gone. My soul failed when he spake. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. Verse 7. The watchmen that went about the city found me. They smote me. They wounded me. The keepers of the wall took away my veil from me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him that I am sick. of love. What is your beloved more than another beloved? O thou fairest among women, what is thy beloved more than another beloved? That you dost so charge us. My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000. His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven. His eyes are as the eyes of doves by the rivers of waters, washed with milk and fitly set. His cheeks are as a bed of spices, as sweet flowers. His lips like lilies, dropping sweet smelling myrrh. His hands are as gold rings set with beryl. His belly is as bright ivory overlaid with sapphires. His legs are as pillars of marble set upon sockets of fine gold. His countenance is as Lebanon, excellent as the cedars. Verse 16, his mouth is most sweet. Yeah, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. All right, family. All right. Every week, these harmonies get on you. And when you contemplate and deliberate, and the secret is to become still. You must still yourself. You must connect with the cosmic harmonies and frequencies. All the rest is confusion, which is Babylon. And we are continuing to the book of Ecclesiastes, where we will continue to examine how we walk about in the flesh, but we should be seeing and speaking and behaving in the spirit of the word and wisdom and law of the holy power creator of eternity. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 1. Keep thy foot when you go to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known. Verse 3, for a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. When you vow a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay that which you have vowed. Better it is that you should not vow than that you should vow and not pay. Suffer not your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. Neither say you before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at your voice and destroy the work of your hands? Verse 7. For in the multitude of dreams and many words, there are also diverse vanities. But fear you God. If you see the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loves the abundance with increase. This is also vanity. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, save the beholding of them with their eyes? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. Verse 13. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely, riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a sore evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit has he that has labored for the wind? All his days also he eats in darkness, and he has much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Behold that which I have seen. It is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labors that he take under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. Verse 19. Every man also to whom God has given riches and wealth, and has given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. This is the gift of God. for he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answers him in the joy of his heart. All right, family. Ecclesiastes be putting them strokes on you, man. It's just vanity. Whatever you doing, whatever you thinking, however you're acting or walking, if it's not in the tenets and principles and concepts and contexts of wisdom, all is vanity. We got to look up vanity. Vanity has got to become tattooed in our brain somewhere. Vanity, vanity, vanity. Just, we got to get it right. We are aligning ourselves. We're adding another line of bricks of wisdom on the path for ourselves personally as we continue to blow and wave the smoke of ignorance and darkness and worldly schools of thoughts and religions and philosophies and theologies. We are growing into the righteousness of the holy power. And so this was the first part of the Sabbath Wisdom Series, week 5, with chapters 5 of the Song of Solomon and Ecclesiastes. We shall continue on the Sabbath again with chapters 5 of Proverbs and the Wisdom of Solomon for part 2. And as our exiting practice, we turn to the east, our homeland of Jerusalem. We bow our heads, we bend our knee, we expose our palms to the cosmic communication and frequency, and we come humbly before the holy power of infinity and petition for another day of the gift of breath and life, so that we may define and refine our walks on the path of righteousness in the example of the Holy Messiah, the Word of the holy power made flesh, whom the world refers to as Jesus Christ. The Word of the Holy Messiah made flesh is the Word that the Creator of all wrote with his own finger on stone and presented to brother prophet Moses to bring to the congregation and church of the nation of Israel as a holy covenant, to observe and to do, so that we may be deemed worthy to enter into the kingdom of heaven through the 12 gates that will be upon earth. Let it be done, so be it. Because Israel, according to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 6 through 9. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people. For you were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, has the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. All praises, family. All praises. Each one of these presentations, believe it or not, as we sit together, we have in church. This is church. We are getting it straight as it is written, thus saith the Lord. And my continuing petitions of peace and harmony to you, safety and security, endurance and perseverance. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit. And to the scattered tribes, here is your promise of comfort. Book of John, chapter 3, verses 14 through 17, into Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Verse 17, for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded. World without end.